We won't name any names.
But is that across the border, across the line, like with a girl, you got to get her drunk to figure out what
I think a little bit, yeah. Just, I mean, because sometimes you don't know how they're going to be, and it's like, I don't know, maybe they get more comfortable.
Or you find out they're an angry drunk.
Yeah, or all the insecurities and the craziness comes out. I don't know, but I think it's a good idea. It won't hurt.
But you're currently dating anybody, or you're single these days?
Yeah, I'm kind of seeing somebody, but nothing serious.
But don't you think you should focus on the fighting for a while? I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's it. I'm completely focused on my career in fighting, so it's always been my number one focus. So and that's, you have to make it that way. You really do.
Well, I would think anybody that's going to date you would know that they're kind of in second position.
Yeah, going into it, you got to make that clear right away. Yeah. That's it's one of those things. You got to be. It's got to be number one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, folks, we're getting some relationship advice here from Jake Ellenberger, who's facing Kelvin Gastelum at UFC 180. That's just like a week and a half away.
Yeah, next weekend.
So when are you heading out to Mexico?
I am heading out next week.
Okay.
Next week.
So what did you make of this matchup? It's funny because you were actually on the podcast and I was trying to dig it out of you, and I pretty much guessed it, and you weren't able to confirm it, but you didn't really deny it either. But I like this matchup. What do you make of it?
I like this matchup a lot. I think it's I prefer guys who are willing to fight, that are move forward. I know he's a wrestler. He's a lot of my training too. I've trained for specifically guys like this that are willing to fight, are willing to engage, and even more so wrestle. So it's exciting. It makes me. I think it's a great matchup though.
When I think of Kelvin, I think of a guy who's young and hungry, and this is a guy that really wants to come out and prove something every time that he fights.
Absolutely. At the same time, it's good and bad. I mean, I've been in his position, so I know exactly how he's thinking, where he's at. But at the same time, it leaves you vulnerable. I've had a lot of experience. I've faced the top guys. It's like he's vulnerable in certain areas where I think I can capitalize on. If he makes a mistake, that's really what it is now for me, is being mistake free and being able to execute.
A few things I want to get to with you, but we're here at Glendale Fighting Club, and of course, obviously, Edmund Tarverdian has been coaching you, and you've been here now for a little bit, a couple fights, right? What do you feel has changed the most in you since you've been here?
There's a lot of things I think that I'm really starting to understand, certain concepts. I've been here with Edmund for about a year, and it just takes time to develop. There's certain things that I never really focused a lot of attention on, which just overall balance, just having a vision, seeing things better. There's a lot of things that, I think you tend to kind of shy away from when you're just specifically working on certain techniques. And I've really learned, those concepts, working with Edmund, just being able to stay relaxed, accepting things, being overall more balanced, and being more confident too. So it's been I've changed quite a bit in the last year.
Well, it's something that I heard him say when you were sparring. He just kept saying, like, feel the ground, feel the floor, feel it. So that's about not only just feeling grounded, literally grounded when you're throwing your punches, but also is that just about awareness, of where you are in the cage?
Absolutely. I mean, feeling the ground too. It's psychological as much as it is literal. So you're literally feeling the ground, but in your mind too, you're balanced. So whether I'm defending, I'm moving side to side, I'm moving forward, it's just being balanced in your mind too. So it's like if you're relaxed, you can accept shots, you can see things better, and at the same time, it makes you react faster.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like he's pushing forth a real me first, you first attitude here. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it's good because he knows how. He's really understood how I, how I learn, how I react. He's gotten to know me a lot better in the last year. Obviously, I've gotten to understand and see the way he sees things a lot better. So that's the thing about him. He's such a brilliant trainer when it comes to being able to change kind of and adapt to everyone is a little bit different, in the way they learn, in the way they see things. So for me, He's been able to make some adjustments that I've really needed to work on, even from my last fight with Robbie, and now moving into the fight with Kelvin too. It's staying relaxed, more that calmness in your mind, but the vision too. So overall, it's a game changer. Confidence is extremely high, and I'm definitely ready to go to Mexico.
Nice. Now, clearly, I'm no coach, but I feel like that was missing with Rory for you in that fight, is that you weren't going first. There was our good friend Mark Munoz likes to talk about paralysis by analysis, and that feeling of overthinking things too much. And do you feel that was the case?
I do, in a way, absolutely. I mean, that's the big thing too about when you don't have a direct head coach who's overseeing all of your training. That hinders you, no matter whether you like it or not. It's going to affect you. So it's having a head trainer right there who's telling you what to do and believing in what you're doing. You know what I mean? You can't just do things and then just do it to do it. You have to believe in what you're doing. So that's been huge for me. Having that direction has been huge. So, but yeah, with Rory, there's a lot of overthinking. He's a smart guy and he's good at fighting at his distance. So for me, you know, I do well when I move forward and I don't when I sit back. That's just as simple as that. So that's all of our style. And the way that Edmund's thinking, I'm thinking, is we're moving straight forward.
No, it's funny. I was talking to another fighter who I can't really say right now, but who's got a fight coming up, and we were talking about he's coming off a loss, and was saying basically that he's not fighting the same way he used to. He used to go in there and really just throw down a lot more, and now he's more analytical, and things haven't gone his way on certain things. You said at the beginning here that Kelvin, you've been in his shoes. Is there part of you that wants to go back to those shoes though a little bit? Do you know what I mean? To be that young, hungry guy, is there a part of you that's able to look for that Jake that was out there just wrecking guys? You know what I mean? Dropping everybody, and it's still there. You know, so what have you done to try to, you know, bring that guy back, but obviously in tune with what you're doing now?
Yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely a lot of value in that. Being, you don't want to be reckless, but you got to have that urgency. So I think for me, it's like I've understood a lot more of when I'm, you know, when I do well and when I don't. I mean, it's I've had the experience, you know, and like Edmund's told me, just a lot of small things, a lot of details that we've kind of cleaned up. But I like exactly where I'm at right now, you know. And you know, one of the things that we've talked a lot about is just having resilience, you know, being able to having been through so much adversity and understanding and learning, because you know you grow so much from failure, from the things that you look back and you could have done things differently, and it's like we're at this place for a reason. And you know, I'm like I said, the confidence there, the vision's there, the direction's there. But I feel like I'm back in that same mindset where we're moving forward, we're wrecking. So I'm faster and I can see things a lot better. So I feel like my old age has kind of helped me a little bit.
How old are you now?
Sport 29. But I've been fighting for 10 years, it's now I'm not 20 anymore. It's a little different story, but no, that experience I think is going to play a role.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's also obviously a big deal to go down there. Kelvin will somehow, to some degree, have the crowd on his side a little bit more with his heritage. Are you feeling like you're going into enemy territory?
Not really, you know. You know, that's kind of the whole. People try to play that up a lot in your head, but you know, when you get in there, it's one-on-one. So it's, you know, we could fight in Omaha, where I'm from. We could fight in Arizona, where he's from. It's just, at the end of the day, it's a fight. It's one-on-one. So it doesn't affect me though now.
All right, so you mentioned Mark Munoz, and obviously that's down at Rain. Are you still working with them for the grappling though, and are you still going over to Kings MMA? Let's talk about who you know, the pieces that you're putting together alongside here with Edmund.
You know, I've been spending most of my time here. I'm here pretty much every day. I am still working with Mark and some of the guys down at Rain, like a couple of days a week. Mm-hmm. Like we'll do Monday, a lot of transition, a lot of wrestling and stuff. But I would say like 95% of my time is here. Just and that's another thing too. Is in the past, some of my I've kind of spread myself a little thin, where you know you're doing too much, you're going different places. It's there's so much value in having one specific coach, the direction and believing in what you're doing. I mean, there's so much value there. So it's been a lot less stressful because I come in, you come in here for the week and all right, you already know what you're doing.
Right.
And we just go. So and I always bring some guys up here too. And I mean, Mark, I'll train with him forever. He's he's a brother of mine. But and still working with Hiron Gracie and Hannah at the Gracie Academy. So those are basically where my time's been.
The only thing I don't like, there's this guy named Manny Gamborian that runs around here. Acts like he owns the place. I mean, my goodness, the guy, it's just insane.
Oh, that guy.
Oh, shoot, serious. So obviously the champ is here as well. Ronda Rousey, Travis Brown is in here. Have you, there's a real, I feel like a winning spirit. I feel like Ronda brings that winning spirit with her.
Absolutely. There's a lot of studs in here, from boxing, Muay Thai, yep. MMA, world champions. So it's cool to kind of, see there's a lot of guys that are, have a lot of more experience in the combat sports, than I do with some of the the boxers, Victor Chinian and Gapo, it's cool that I can get some tips and spar with them and kind of pick their brain a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely an atmosphere, a positive atmosphere. You can feel it.
Nice. And what's the latest with your brother Joe?
Joe's back. He's going to be fighting December 13th in Phoenix.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Nice. Who's he facing? I don't even know this. I should know this. Okay, you don't know it either, so I'm safe.
I don't remember his name, but he's from there. He's from Phoenix, nice, so it'll be another hometown guy. But
we'll talk about overcoming adversity. I mean, that fight was ridiculous. For how many times had it gone delayed, and then the fight that finally did happen. I mean, Joe was incredible that night.
I know. It's funny because there were so many times. I mean, I think he had 6 different opponents. Yeah. There was he hurt his back. It's funny. He calls me it's like a week and a half before the fight. He pulls his back doing some deadlifting. And this is the last hard week of training for him. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. So he literally he didn't do anything for 5 days. And for that last week, it's he's doing some swimming, jumping in the pool, but it's not the same, So it was kind of he was on the fence. Do I fight? Do I not? Do I play? And he was at the point where he was like, I'm going to fight. I don't care. I'm fighting. So, and you know what? That was that is typical. That's exactly what Joe is. He showed exactly what he what he is, and that's just dealing with adversity. So, tough fight, absolutely tough fight. But he came out and pulled it through. So. We were happy about that. Nice.
Now, obviously, with Kelvin, you're going down. This will be a bit of a high altitude. He's been down there for a while. Does that factor into it all? I mean, you're here. We're sea level, pretty much, almost below it. But your conditioning's never been an issue.
Not really. I there's some things I've changed too. With I've done a lot of heart rate based training the last probably 12 weeks. So for me, and I've changed my diet up a little bit too, trying to. Working with a couple new guys as far as the energy system goes, but no, I feel fantastic. I mean, we've been doing runs up in the altitude too at least once a week. So at the end of the day, if you're either in shape or you're not. Mm-hmm. So it's I've been up to I've trained in plenty of altitude places. Big Bear. I've been to a few places. So for me, it's just executing. I'm not thinking about altitude. I'm thinking about moving forward, pulling the trigger.
Nice. And lastly, your last opponent, Robbie Lawler, we know is fighting for the title against Johnny Hendricks in a few weeks. Yeah. Who do you like in that fight?
I like Robbie. Yeah. I think it's he's coming in this fight with a lot of momentum too. He's and Johnny's been out. That's a tough thing. I know he had some injury, and just anytime you're on the sideline, it's so hard to come back. I mean, I did that after Rory to Robbie. I mean, I was almost for a year, and you really feel it. You can train all you, it's just not the same. I like Robbie in the fight. I think he knows what he knows what to expect, and I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to come out the champ.
Nice. All right. Well, Jake, it's always a pleasure seeing you here. You're looking good.
Thank you.
Looking ready. You better be.
I am ready. I can't wait. I'm
awesome.
It's been it's been a great, I'd say 3 or 4 months here, but I'm stoked.
All right. Awesome. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.